Yo, it's your. Oh my god. That was cringe, bro. It's your zany friend here, MR.DOOMER. And it's my second video. Hopefully, this will be good. But, um, are you guys lonely? Um, sad feeling ever, you know, I can't just be the only one who constantly feels this loneliness and, um, discomfort a little bit. It's just, I don't know. I I'm just tired of feeling this way. It just sucks to have no one. I don't really have a family. And please leave tell me your side of your story, or I want to hear what you guys think, or if you guys, you know, can relate. But, I'm not really close with my family. I don't really have a lot of friends. Um, not close with any of my coworkers. And I don't know, it sucks. I feel like an empty space. I feel like non-existent. I feel like I'm not there. I feel just sad. I feel, you know, very depressed. I won't say I feel depressed, but it's very depressing. It's when you catch yourself, when you realize, like, damn, like, I have no one to talk to, or no one to game with, no one to speak my mind to. It, it it's a shitty feeling. It really is, and that's not something I wish on my worst enemy. Because it's a very hard feeling, very tough feeling. It's very isolated. You feel isolated, and it's it's horrible. um, like I said, there's no one to talk to, no one to talk about your hobbies, what your interests in, shit you like. Something you can relate to. I just don't have that, and it's hard. I used to have a lot of friends, back in the day, but now that as you get older, as I've gotten older, it's just relations fall apart. Mm, people move on, relationships just fall. Um, and that's the sad part. It really is sad. This it sucks. Cause you, you just feel you're living. You're just I don't know. There's nothing. It's just like you're living, going to work, go home, not talking to no one. No one to conversate with. Your phone's dry. No texts, no emails. Emails dead. You get no hoes. Absolutely no hoes. You get zero hoes. Come on, bro. It's a horrible feeling. Like it's a horrible feeling to be fucking lonely, bro. Like, come on now, man. You got no friends, for no game invites, no yitches, nothing, bro. You know, I get none of that. No shitty um DM, no shit posting. What else? No good morning texts. You know, no update of, oh, how are you doing? Oh, you want to hang out? None of that. Is this that's it's partly have to do with my fault. I'm not the best at making friends and talking to women. I'm just, that's something I need to work on. But I'm just talking, speak my mind of, feeling wise of, how it feels, and I want to know what other people, if our people can relate to with what I'm saying. That loneliness sucks. You know, it makes your life seem more boring, way boring, not interesting, and people need connections. Everyone needs connections. It's very depressing when You don't have no one to talk to or no one to game with, no one to chat, hang out with, none of that. And yeah, it's just horrible, you know? Um, what else can I say? You know, and that's another thing, you know, there's an uprise of, you know, it's called like the loneliness epidemic, and it's pretty crazy, you know. That's why, you know, I kind of want to speak my mind too about it because it is a serious issue. It is, you know, not just a me issue. Everyone's going through this, you know, and you'd be surprised, you know, probably the most good looking of people, well, you know, can, you know, feel lonely or have no one to talk to. And that's the sad part, you know, that anyone and everyone can be feeling this way. And I feel like it has to do with, you know, just a lack of, I don't know how to say, just a lack of communication. You know, no one really wants to, you know, everyone has their own problems. I get that. Everyone has their own issues they got to deal with. They got they got, you know, their own family, their own issues. They got to work a lot. You know, I get that. No one you know, everyone's, you know, got to do what they got to do. And, but I don't know. I just feel like as if like it's very hard to open up to people when there's a bunch of snarky, mean, rude people in that, you know, throws people off and not wanting to communicate no more. And, you know, it's because, you know, people are afraid to be judged. And I get that. That's why, you know, I'm at the place where I'm at and why I don't have a lot of friends or, you know, I got no hoes. Absolutely no hoes, bro. Like, this is sad, you know, because, you know, it's, that's, you know, I'm a product of my environment. You know, if you get shit talked or if you get, yeah, I'm a product of my environment. You know, if you get shit talked or you get talked down upon, then it's like it's hard to come back from then. Like you don't want to talk to people once you experience that type of stuff. You know, using a rude person or a rude family member or whoever, a stranger. You know, that's why people feel secluded. You know, they don't want to be open up, and because there's a bunch of crappy people out there, and then they ruin it for everyone else. You know, I know people want to open up and talk to each other, but they just can't. You know, it's just because you know they're afraid to get judged. A lot of people are rude and fucked up and mean, and it's crazy. And I understand why. You know, um, but I I don't know, as you know, technology grows further, you know, as technology gets more advanced, um, it's gonna get worse. I think, you know, sooner or later, you know, AI, you're gonna have an AI girlfriend, AI friends, you know, and a lot of people are doing that right now. You know, with the whole Gronk, you know, Elon Musk thing, you know, ChatGPT, you know, you gotta have your own AI girlfriend or your AI friend, you know. You can talk to it, you know, and people, you know, just imagine, you know, AI robots. Then it's truly over. You know, there will be no need for a woman, no need for friends, you know, because you can get everything off over the robots or the AI. You know, it's crazy. It's a little scary. But yeah, that's my thoughts. You know, like and subscribe. This is my second video. I'll try to be better at talking, but yeah, thank you. I love you. This is Doomer. Yep.